Welcome to Puzzle Out, where you can puzzle out anything and everything under the sun. Today, we're looking at Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, made easy. We'll learn how to respond proactively, eliminate time wasters, and identify wins for everyone. Before we start, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you'll be notified about our latest videos. These concepts are from Stephen Covey's The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Published in 1989, it has sold more than 30 million copies, and it presents effectiveness through habits manifesting from independence to interdependence. The foundation principle of a habit is your personality, which is formed by internalized behaviors as you grow up. You become your behaviors because they create recurring and unconscious patterns, and they become habits. Examples are how we eat, drink, speak, and work. Other factors that determine our habits are our skills, desires, and knowledge. They determine our behaviors. Our behaviors, they grow into habits. Let's find out what being effective is. It's the ability to get things done, the ability to achieve objectives, the ability to solve problems. Effective people do the right thing. Efficient people, they do things right. Effective people do the right things right. To do this, you will need to work on your progression from dependence via independence to achieving interdependence. This is the Maturity Continuum. Your progression will move you from needing others to survive to taking responsibility for your actions, to realizing you need others to accomplish your goals. Practicing and living the 7 habits will help you reach the top of the Maturity Continuum faster. Here are the 7 habits of highly effective people. Be proactive. Begin with the end in mind. Put first things first. Think win-win. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Synergize and sharpen the saw. When work frustrates you, write your concerns which you have no control over and your influences which you have control over in the appropriate circle. You will notice that you have a lot more concerns. You need to limit the items in the outside circle. When you focus on things you cannot control, less time and energy is spent on the ones you can control. The circle of influence shrinks as the circle of concern gets bigger. This is the reactive focus. The proactive focus pivots on what you can do to increase the circle of influence. This is the main concept of habit 1. Be proactive. Let's look at the differences between proactive and reactive people. Proactive people focuses on things they can change. They take the initiative and are solutions to problems. However, reactive people, they focuses on things they can't change. Their behavior is a product of their conditions that are based on feelings. They blame other people and circumstances they feel are responsible for their own stagnant situation. To increase your circle of influence, it's best to be proactive. You can always start by choosing a proactive language. Here are a few examples. Instead of saying there's nothing I can do, you can say, let's look at alternatives. Instead of saying, that's just the way I am, you can say, I can choose a different approach. Or he makes me so mad. How about I can control my own feelings? Habit 2. Begin with the end in mind. Remember, everything must have a goal or an end game. If you do not know where you're going, how will you know how to get there? Effective people have well-defined goals and objectives. A good activity is to write your own letter of recommendation. It must have your accomplishments, past and future. If you were your own boss, what would you say about yourself? What would you want other people to say about you? That should help you determine what to do to achieve your goal. Habit number 2 will guide you in doing the right things the right way. Habit number 3 will help you manage what you are doing by putting first things first. You need to prioritize your activities, which are defined by 2 factors. Urgency, an activity that requires immediate attention. Importance, an activity that is valuable because it contributes to your mission, values, and high priority goals. This is a time management matrix. The first quadrant is urgent and important, which should be done first. This isn't where most of your work should be unless you work in the emergency room. Examples are deadline-driven projects, review of an important document for your manager, an embarrassing error on your social media feed, crisis. The second quadrant is not urgent but important. These aren't immediately urgent, but they help you build towards success in your goals. You need to schedule these. Here are examples. Creating a new strategy, working on your quarterly report before the end of the quarter, planning budgets, recreation, and prevention activities. The third quadrant is urgent but not important and is the most dangerous because other people's problems may not be your emergencies. These should be delegated or scheduled. Examples are interruptions, some meetings, popular activities, social media notifications. The fourth quadrant is not urgent and not important. This is what you're doing when you should be working. These should not be done. Obsessively checking social media, excessive television, any time wasters. Going back to all quadrants, here are some points. Is it urgent, important, or both? Analyze the value of the task. Think about cutting and combining tasks. Think about delegating. Understand your limits and what can be done practically. Habit 4. Think win-win. Is the belief that everyone can win. It is an abundant way of thinking. You should be happy for others when good things happen to them. Here are the 6 paradigms of human interaction. Win-win. Seeks for mutual benefit, is cooperative and not competitive. Win-lose. They want to win and others to lose. Lose-win. They voice no standards, demands, or expectations. Lose-lose. They envy and criticize others. It is the same as no win because nobody benefits. Win. Thinks of getting only what they want, although they do not necessarily want others to lose. win-win or no deal, the highest form of win-win. We need to avoid numbers 2 to 5 and focus on numbers 1 and 6. Habit 5. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. The underlying principle is to communicate effectively by understanding, which begins with empathy. We all have a need to be understood, affirmed, and appreciated. When this need is met, people will open up and engage. Then we can attempt to be understood. Here are the 5 levels to listening. Ignoring is making no effort to listen. There is no processing of information. Pretending is making believe or giving the appearance you are listening. There is no processing of information. Selective listening is hearing only the parts of the conversation that interests you. There is partial information processed. Active listening is paying attention and focusing on what the speaker says and comparing that to your own experience. You are processing all information. The first part of Habit 5, seek first to understand, requires the highest level of listening, empathic listening. It requires high levels of consideration. It's listening with the intent to understand. In part 2 of Habit 5, then to be understood, people listening to you will understand your needs, especially when they seek first to understand you. That makes it easier to work together to achieve a common goal, which leads us to the 6th habit, which creates interdependence. Habit 6, synergize. The underlying principle of synergy is the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Synergy takes place when 2 or more people produce more together than the sum of what they could have produced separately. Here are the qualities of creative cooperation in synergy. It's result-oriented with positive energy. It's cooperative, having a mutually agreed upon end in mind. It's worth the effort and highly effective. It is a process. It's not a free-for-all brainstorming activity. It's not accepting others' ideas as full truth. Not a win-lose competition. Not a negotiation technique. And it's not always easy. You have moved from dependence to independence to interdependence with the help of habits 1 through 6. The last habit reinforces the other 6. Habit 7, sharpen the saw. It is a daily process of renewing the 4 dimensions of our nature. Physical. We build physical wellness through proper nutrition, exercise, rest, and stress management. Mental. We increase mental capacity through reading, writing, and thinking. We develop spiritually through reading inspiring literature, through meditating and praying, and through spending time with nature. Social and emotional. We mature socially and emotionally by nurturing our key relationships. The 7 habits develop over time. You have to pursue them consciously. When you live the 7 habits, you develop your personal immune system. Your immune system will repel all of these contributors to ineffectiveness. Thank you for letting Buzz Out help you live the 7 habits the easy way. If you have questions or want to request a video idea, leave a comment on any of our videos or email buzzout@gmail.com. If you haven't, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you'll be notified about our latest videos.